job, everybody. Welcome to the second episode of the Pest Control Internet Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Patel, CEO of K3 Marketing, a Google Premier Partner, where we have been perfecting the art of pest control internet marketing since 2005. First of all, Happy New Year. Happy 2020. I hope 2019 was amazing, and I hope that 2020 is going to be even more spectacular. A lot more leads, higher ROI, more trucks, just a better overall business model. So, Happy New Year. Thanks for tuning in. First of all, before I continue with this episode, it will be much more beneficial if you watch this on YouTube. Now, I'm going to try to explain everything visually, what's happening on the screen here for those of you who are listening on iTunes or Spotify. But if you get a chance to watch on YouTube, it'll be a lot more beneficial for you guys. All right, so let's jump in. The first thing I want to ask is, what is Google Ads? A lot of people have tried Google Ads or haven't tried Google Ads or don't really know what it is, how it works. That's what this episode is about. So first, let's just backtrack for a second. Let's talk about some of the large tech companies that are out there. Let's take Apple. Okay. How does Apple make money? Well, it's pretty simple. They've recently gotten into services, but primarily it's those fairly expensive laptops and phones, iWatches, and that's majority of their revenue share comes from those products. Amazon. Now, Amazon is a market share, so they take a certain percentage of all those all those sales that you have. Now they're into freight and they have the web services and things like that. What about Google? How does Google make money? And it's interesting because I bring this question up to a lot of business owners, and a lot of them are stumped because, let's be honest, you use Gmail, you use Google Maps, Google Contacts, all of their services, and you don't really pay for it. It's free. Google primarily, overwhelmingly, makes money, its revenue through ads, through companies like you guys who are willing to pay to be on top of the search engines. Google is highly, highly invested in ensuring that you as a business owner continue to pay for their service. Okay. So that's essentially what Google Ads is meant for and how important it is to Google. Second question I get a lot of times is, does Google Ads work? I've tried it in the past. I didn't really see a return on investment, or I hired someone and they just did not do a good job. I didn't see any good results. And the truth is, Google Ads does work, and it can work, but it has to be done correctly. And it's unfortunate because the industry of internet marketing is so saturated, and there's so many people that can offer this as a service. Primarily because it's very easy to get into. In a sense, there's no brick and mortar. It's an intangible service. But unfortunately, that also means that there are a lot of spammers out there, a lot of companies or agencies or individuals that promise something and don't deliver. So if you haven't received, if you've tried Google Ads in the past and you didn't see a great ROI, then that's really unfortunate, because I do believe that you can see a phenomenal ROI with Google Ads. So first off, I want to explain where Google Ads is displayed in the search results. So again, if you're not on YouTube, I'm going to try to explain. I'm on google.com. I'm at home in Atlanta right now, and I just did a search for pest control near me. Okay. Very common search phrase. And when you search on Google, right now, the first thing that you see is the Google guarantee. Okay. It's three little squares that you see up on top. The Google guarantee is a service called Google Local Service Ads. It's a pay per lead program, similar to Home Advisor, but it is a unique lead. It's not a shared lead. And maybe we'll have an episode about how that works in the future. Below the Google guarantee are your ads. You will literally see a little square that says ad next to it. And typically there's three or four. Right now I see three, but that's the ad section. So that's the section that we're going to be talking about today. We're not going to be talking about anything above or anything below, just this ad section that shows up on top. Just to finish off the page below is your map listing, your Google local listing. So you'll see a map and you'll see a listing, usually three results. And then below that is your organic or your SEO, search engine optimization listing. So Google Ads is essentially this area up on top that says ad right up on top. Okay. So to answer the question, what is Google Ads? In my opinion, it is an auction and a bidding war coupled with ethical marketing. So a lot of business owners are a little scared to get into Google Ads, thinking, I don't know if again, I can't compete with some of these larger companies in my area. But that's not necessarily the case. It's not just how deep your pockets are. And don't get me wrong, Google's more than happy to take your money. But if created properly, you can actually spend less money and see better results. So we'll get into that here in a second. So it's not just how deep your pockets are. It's not just auctioning and bidding. It's essentially ethical marketing on top of that. So when you see an example in Google, you will see your ad positioning. Where do I show up? Do I show up, number one, number two, number three? And your position is based off of an ad rank. Okay. An ad rank is a score that Google determines. And your ad rank is calculated by your max bid multiplied by your quality score. Okay. And we're going to get into what all this means here. But, you know, if a competitor is always number one and you're number two, it's typically because their ad rank is higher than yours. Okay. So ad rank is determined from a keyword level. So let's say the keyword is bed bug removal. Okay. So how much are you willing to pay for that click versus how much is your competitor willing to pay for that click? That's your max bid. Right. And then what's the quality score? And we'll get into that in a second. Those two multiplied together gives you your ad rank, shows you your position. All right. So your quality score is essentially a score ranked from 0 to 10. Okay. It's an internal score that Google uses. And there's a lot of factors to be that determine your quality score. How fast your site loads, how well is it coded, expected click through rate, meaning you know how often do your ad get clicked on, and things like that. But the meat of your quality score is that your keywords and your ads and your landing pages need to all be related. Okay, that's very important. So if your keyword is bed bug removal and your ad says pest control services, give us a call today, and then they click on it, goes to your homepage and barely has anything about bed bug removal, then you're going to have a low quality score. Okay. So everything needs to be structured and created in a linear format for it to make sense. And only then will you have a higher quality score. All right. So I'm going to show you guys an example here. Again, YouTube would be much more beneficial if you guys watch this podcast on YouTube. So here's a client of mine, Peachtree Pest Control. I did my first episode with the owner, Corey Arnold here. And the keyword in question here is, let's just talk about the first one, bed bug exterminator prices. Okay. And you can see the quality score is 9 out of 10, which is great. And if you stay on the bed bugs campaign, technically it's the ad group here. But just for simplicity, I'm staying on the bed bugs section here. You'll see that you have bed bug exterminator prices. The quality score is 9 out of 10 on the keyword level. And if I click on ads, The ads are also bed bug related, okay, with a decent click through rate. And then when you click on one of them, it goes specifically to a bed bug removal landing page with all your conversion factors and everything. Again, conversion factors we'll probably talk about on another episode. But see how the keyword was one thing, the ad was the exact same thing, and the landing page was the exact same thing. And that has been built for every single pest and critter that they service. So this is very important. Now, going back to my presentation here, I have this ad rank calendar. I'm sorry, ad rank calculator. So let's assume that your company is ABC Pest Control and your max bid is $8 and your quality score is 8. So your ad rank is 64. Your competitor, XYZ Pest Control, their max bid is $10 and their quality score is 5 because they haven't built it as nice as you have. Their ad rank is 50. So even though they're paying $10 a click, you are still showing up higher than your competitors. So quality score is very, very important in Google Ads. So honestly, that's really what Google Ads is and how it works. It's a bidding war. It shows up on top of the results. It's a bidding war based off of how much you're willing to spend per click and your budget, obviously, as well as your quality score. So I hope that cleared everything up here. Well, that's it. That's all I have for you guys today. Tune in next month. We're probably going to be going into some keyword strategies. I haven't really thought about the exact episode yet, but definitely stay tuned. Hope you guys got a lot out of this episode today. If you're doing Google Ads yourself right now, or you have an agency running it, or someone's running it for you, keep in mind your quality score. Maybe reach out to them, say, okay, are we optimizing for this? It's very important to ensure that you're spending a lot less per click and seeing that ROI that you deserve. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach me on my website. It's pcimpodcast.com. PCIM, which stands for Pest Control Internet Marketing. So PCIMpodcast.com. All right. I'm Andy Patel, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for listening.